It's a new year, which means the release of new games. This is
The Save Point.
Hello, Monmouth University. Welcome to The Save Point, your #1 source for anything gaming. I'm your host, Marissa.
And I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion. And in today's episode, we have your Nintendo news. Chris and Dave will be discussing the mid-season premieres of The Arrow, The Flash, and Gotham. And Pat and James will be taking a look at the Master Chief Collection of Halo.
We also have the next installment of Is It Worth It? With Amiibos.
But first, here's Pat and James to review the Master Chief Collection.
Followed by Chris with his Amiibo assessment in Is It Worth It?
Time to press start and start the show.
Hey Save Pointers, Pat here with all your Halo news and updates. Well, now that 2014 has come and gone, the Master Chief Collection is effectively 2 months post-release, and it seems to have generated a largely positive response as of late. But for those of you that don't know, this was not always the case. A disturbingly increasing trend with console releases, the Master Chief Collection had a number of issues at launch, most notably huge problems with finding and maintaining games on the dedicated servers on the Xbox One. After a few weeks of maintenance and a blemish on their record, 343 Industries has been able to restore order to the servers, and they even promised a free addition to the campaign experience of the Master Chief Collection for those who suffered through the trial and error of launch. Halo 3 ODST's campaign is expected to be updated into the menus of the Master Chief Collection sometime in the near future. Now personally, I did not get my hands on the Master Chief Collection, or the Xbox One for that matter, until the holidays came around, so I won't be getting ODST for free. But I wouldn't mind if 343 added it as paid DLC for the rest of us someday. It really would be worth it if it meant patrolling the nighttime streets of New Mombasa at 60 frames per second and 1080p. Oh, and of course the opportunity to play as Nathan Fillion as well. I just gotta say, Nathan, you rock. You rock my world, Nathan. Now let's take a quick look at what the MCC got right. Graphically, the games are absolutely stunning in the new frame rate and pixel count. The processing power of the Xbox One really shows with this, and the combination of the games in one all-purpose and easy-to-use interface and menu. It's never been this convenient to load up and play your favorite modes across all 4 main Halo games. Now we have to briefly address the downsides of the collection. I almost feel uncomfortable calling it a collection when it's more of a sampler platter in terms of the online multiplayer. The playlists are sparse at best, as they stand. There is an imbalance that is disproportionately in favor of Halo 2 multiplayer, leaving the other 3 games with only 1, maybe 2 playlists apiece. Yeah, you have cross-game playlists like Big Team Battle, which is fun, but it would still be nice to have extra servers for more defined moments in Halo multiplayer history. I love BTB, but sometimes I feel like sticking to a certain game in the series rather than rolling the dice for any one of the 4. But hopefully this issue will be resolved in time with more playlists added in the future. But there is one more problem. There is no Nathan Fillion. I know this is the Master Chief Collection, but seriously? 343, you had a prime opportunity to update a Halo game with Nathan Go-Ram Fillion. And technically, ODST was an expansion to Halo 3, i.e. part of the original trilogy, wink wink, nudge nudge. Ugh, someone get me some Fillion. I aim to misbehave in this game. Well, we'll be back after this short break. Stay put, Spartans. That's an order.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
After school today, I will be dead. I can't go on any longer. Nobody even knows I exist. They pass through me like air, like nothingness. That's what I am. Nothing.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
What's in there? He's about to fall over.
Anything he might need. There's a box of tissues on the bottom and some Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
You don't have to be perfect.
Have a great day.
That's too much pressure.
Have the day you have.
To be a perfect parent.
There are two people in the world who want you more than anything. They'll make some mistakes, but they will love you more than you can ever imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Did you know that getting up and getting active for just 60 minutes a day is all it takes to help you get stronger, look better, and feel great?
Or that fresh fruits and veggies aren't just healthier and crunchier, they can taste better too?
Eating better and getting more active is easier than you think.
Yeah! Keep watching for some fun and easy ways to discover the magic of healthy living in your life.
America.
Let's get healthy together!
7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support. Edge of Support.
Welcome back, Spartans. Pat here, and let's now address the tidbit of fresh Halo goodness that came with the collection. The Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer beta. Now, the beta launched on December 29th, 2014 and ended on January 18th, 2015. It was available to all who purchased the Master Chief Collection and was released with the intent on showcasing and perfecting the new Spartan abilities in the upcoming installment. Players truly feel like super soldiers as they can dodge and strafe in any direction from incoming fire, clamber onto nearby ledges, and slam their fists into the ground for truly devastating results. Now, as this was a beta, there were bound to be incomplete or unfavorable features to the game, and it definitely had its fair share of each. On the upside, the beta really showed off the new abilities well. I've never felt so free to be an absolute war machine, and the graphics and gunplay did not falter much either. The smart scopes for every weapon are a welcome change, giving me a nice choice of ranged firefights or close-range brawls. Unfortunately, some of the gameplay needs work. The battle rifle is just a tad too powerful in my opinion. The delay between sprinting and shield recharge could be tweaked, and the incessant flinching from weapon fire just needs to be done away with. And there is one more issue I had with the target demographic that I'll explain later when we return for our discussion with James. But until then, enjoy this commercial break, and I'll see you when you get back, Save Pointers.
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. The best feeling is getting to a place you've been fighting for. Tennis taught me to never give up in anything. School, sports, life. Your opponent has to earn their victory. Nothing in life is guaranteed, so education is important. Going to college is one of my biggest goals. I can't wait. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
And 30. Oh! Yo, hey, Allison.
What's going on?
Working on my free throws. Just on 30 straight.
30? That's not possible.
Maybe not possible for you, but I've been practicing.
Step back and give me the rock.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
1, 2, 11. You know it's harder when people are watching.
Hey, you know, 11's not that bad. All you need are a few pointers.
Thank you. Are you a free throw expert?
Well, no, not really, but I do know excellent teamwork when I see it. Oh, it's so much easier to get active and live healthier when your friends are there to motivate you with a little friendly competition.
Now let's get this game started.
Right.
Oh, she's going for the hook shot. Hook shot. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
America.
Let's get healthy together.
Welcome back, fellow gamers. I'm Pat, and here I have James with me on part 3 of our Halo segment. Now, we're going to discuss the points of the Halo MCC and the Halo 5 beta in greater detail for this section, and we'll go over things that we like and things that could be improved for Halo as it stands. All right, James, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Pat, how are you? Thanks for having me.
No problem. You ready to discuss some Halo?
Yes. Well, first thing I want to discuss is, well, the graphics, man. They are just absolutely stunning. I know you mentioned it earlier in your solo discussion, but I just can't help but just stare at those graphics 24/7. They are just that stunning. The way all the games are redone, HD, everything, the character detail, it's absolutely stunning.
I can't help but agree with there, because with 60 frames per second, especially with that frame rate, there are times when I feel like I could literally jump into the screen.
Absolutely.
Because at 30 frames per second, the games were impressive already, but with this new processing power on the Xbox One, it feels surreal, I want to say. And not to mention with 1080p adding even more detail to it. I remember like when I first started up, I thought like going in order would be like the reasonable way to go. I started with Halo 1, and even those graphics in like, even with, you could switch between the 2001 and the 2011 graphics from Anniversary, but even the 2001 graphics looked impressive.
I mean, see, when I compare the original Combat Evolved to the Anniversary Edition, I kind of feel like the graphics, well, I always say nothing's better than the original, but I feel like the Anniversary graphics were a tad bit better than the original version. But that's just me, though.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, they were well, of course, they were intended to be like a nice update as like a 10-year anniversary, and it's sort of like made it a bit more detailed and catered it more to like what people were familiar with the canon as far as the game series progressed over the next few years.
Yeah, exactly.
And but now moving on to the Halo 2 Anniversary, those graphics were even more impressive. And with the classical like Halo 2 gameplay with all the fast pace and like the new vehicles and also like not outside the gameplay itself, the cinematics for the story mode. Blur Studios did those, and they also did Halo Wars cinematics back in 2009. And they were even more impressive than those back in 2009. And it just boggles my mind that people were able to put in that much dedication. It just shows how popular this universe has gotten the past few years, that people were willing to put their time into it and redo these cinematics that were back in 2004 and give them their own graphics, their own like appeal to the community. And
I could not agree more. And you mentioned cinematics. Can I just say this? The one other thing I love, the brand new cutscenes that were added to this game.
Yes.
Oh my God. I couldn't even believe some of the things that I saw. Some of I've never seen before. Like what's that one in the there was one in Combat Evolved, I think, where the guy is like he's like tied up like this, and I think he's being brutally beaten or something. I didn't see that coming. I think that's it's fairly new to me, because I wasn't really I mean, I wasn't too huge on Combat Evolved, but just all the cutscenes in all the games, I mean, oof, wow.
Absolutely, yeah. And also they added like 2 bonus cutscenes at the beginning and end of Halo 2 to sort of like tease towards Halo 5 story, which is really cool because everyone was wanting to bring the Arbiter back from Halo 2 and 3, and I'm pretty sure like the fan base is really glad that he's coming back. Now, let's take a moment to talk about like the multiplayer for the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
Like,
I really, I did have a bit of an issue with multiplayer, mainly because of the server problems. I don't know if that had to do with the recent hack that had happened over the past couple months or so. Maybe that was it, but the servers did give me an issue, and to even install the game, it took me like almost 2 hours to install. I couldn't understand why that was.
There is one downside to having Xbox. There's one downside I will admit to Xbox One is that like you really do need to pick your battles when it comes to storage space.
Oh,
you need to install your games first. It does take a bit of data, but if you have the games that you really like and you want to keep on there, then keep them on there. But about the servers, like the dedicated servers, they're fine now. I mean, I was able to play a few games over the break, and it's absolutely amazing. The gameplay's nice. But what I wanted to discuss was like just there wasn't really much variety in terms of your choices for multiplayer. Now you have, let's see, you have one playlist dedicated to just Halo 1, which is only 3v3 in like the small maps. I remember playing with some of my roommates, and I got my rear end handed to me. That was.
I just interrupt for a sec. I'm sorry. That sort of feels like a sampler, wouldn't you say? Since
Yeah.
you say it's only dedicated to Halo 1. This is only dedicated to Halo 3 ODST, just an example. This
Yeah.
one's only dedicated to Halo 4. That's pretty much of a sample right there. if you're asking
Exactly,
me.
yeah. Like I alluded to, it's like it doesn't feel like a collection yet, but it just seems like there's the potential for them to add more as the year goes on. I think back in December and like earlier in the month, they were focused more on getting the Halo 5 beta and getting the feedback they needed for that game out first. But now that they have that feedback from that beta, they might be able to take the time to actually focus more on the playlists in the Master Chief Collection. Because like I said, there's only one Halo 1 playlist, there's only one Halo 4 playlist, there's only a Halo 3 playlist, there's only one Big Team Battle playlist which goes across all 4 games, and you have those choices across all those 4 games, which is nice. I'm not going to limp the gift horse in the mouth, but it's just, sometimes I just, like, to me, if I were given the chance to organize these servers, I would literally have 4 main sections for each main game and possibly a 5th section for cross-game, just having that popular mode that went across all 4 games.
Couldn't agree more.
Exactly, yeah. So you have that way you'd have a BTB for each game if you wanted to stick with one game, if you wanted to, and rather than just relying on like the whole community voting for just one game, one map across all the game modes. But to go out a multiplayer on a bright note, the Halo 1's multiplayer is actually from PC, because you actually have those bonus maps that were originally.
I'm absolutely in love with that fact.
Yes.
I love it so much.
You have
the original PC graphics, unbelievable. I love it.
And I'm glad the Xbox One has that processing power, because you have the gigantic vehicle-specific maps. Because if you remember, like on the console version of Halo 1, you only had 2 vehicle maps. You had Sidewinder and you had Blood Gulch. But now you've got maps like Death Island and Ice Fields and Jeffrophobia, and they all have like they have the Banshee in multiplayer for Halo 1, which wasn't on the console version, and then you also have the new vehicle, the Rocket Hog, which is absolutely devastating, especially for race game modes. And of course, you had the bonus weapons for the Halo PC. You had the flamethrower and the fuel rod gun, which are both very fun to use.
The flamethrower was my absolute favorite. And by the way, speaking of weapons, I hate the fact that you're only limited to Halo 2 weapons. What is that all about?
Yes.
Like, honestly.
Like especially, you're referring to Halo 2 Anniversary's Forge mode?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. It just seems a tad strange that like they have this new process. They created like these 6 maps dedicated to the Anniversary treatment for Halo 2. And they gave it Forge, they gave it Theater, they gave it all the updated gimmicks to it. And yet the weapon palette selection, I can't help but say it's actually rather poor, because you're limited to Halo 2 weapons. You don't have the Spartan laser, you don't even have the plasma cannon. You have, let's see, what else do you have? You don't have like all the new Halo 4 weapons like the sticky detonator or the railgun. That'd be so much fun. But I mean, you still have Halo 4's Forge, so you can play with all that in 1080p and 60 frames per second.
Valid point.
That's always fun.
Valid point.
And one last subject we should move on to is the Halo 5 beta, because that's going to be the game at the end of the year that all Halo fans are going to look forward to.
This is the game I cannot wait for. I'm so upset I have to wait till almost the end of the year that it's released, but this is something that I am really looking forward to. And when I played that multiplayer beta, I was hooked. That gave me a taste of what this game is going to be like. This game, I feel like, is going to be probably one of the best in the franchise. I must admit. That's how I feel.
I would say that could be explained because 343 really feels like they can pull out all the stops with this one. I feel like Halo 4 was like them testing the waters because this was their first official title under the Halo umbrella, but now they can make this fully their own game. Now, one thing I did not like about the Halo 5 beta, which wasn't necessarily a problem, they wanted to focus on arena-style 4v4 deathmatch.
I don't understand that. Why, though?
I would say it was possibly, like, I could be wrong about this, but I'd say it was possibly because they wanted to really give you as much opportunity as possible to utilize the new abilities like the ground pound and the charge and the constant thruster pack, which I can understand. But also, I'm a big team battle kind of guy. I like those big, hectic, vehicle-focused engagements and getting heavy weapons and just blowing up entire enemy vehicles. I mean, that's what I play Halo for. And unfortunately, I was denied that for the Halo 5 beta, and it actually took me some time to get used to the new gameplay mechanics.
Exactly.
And just one more thing. 343, one word. Spotlights.
Yes.
The Spartan hub was dark.
Oh
it was
my God.
way too dark.
Oh my God. That's the most annoying thing in the world. I can't even
Well, hopefully that'll be updated at launch.
Yeah, but that's a discussion for another day, though.
Exactly, yeah, and it was an early beta. So Halo 5 is slated to release for fall 2015, and we are all looking forward to it. And that's all the time we have for today's Save Pointers. Tune in next time for more Halo news and updates.
What's up, Save Pointers, and welcome back. I hope that all of your winter breaks have been a productive one, or at least a relaxing one. But it's time for us to get right back to business. So, I promised you guys an Amiibo review, and I'm a man of my word. So here it is. Not only have I been able to playtest these Amiibos for about the last semester or so, but I bought a few more Amiibos to add to the collection, as you can see. Currently, there are 2 waves of Amiibos out, including an ever-growing list of quote-unquote rare Amiibos. What I have here are from the first 2 waves. I have a Pikachu, a Fox, as you already know, and I have a Peach and a Zelda, and the also sought-after Marth Amiibo. Shout out to Ramon. So after about 2 months of playtesting these figurines, I do have to say I'm kind of disappointed. Sure, they're a cool collector's item, and yes, mine no longer have that collector's value for all you collectors out there who are cringing at the fact that I opened a Marth figure. But besides that, it's really just a computer player. Now, I've leveled these up to level 50 each and I reset them and taught these Amiibos different things. And to be honest, these are catered to more of the casual player, which I guess was the point anyway. Dang it, Sakurai! Well, now with the 50 level cap, there's a fairly short period to teach these Amiibos. What I've discovered is that when you teach these Amiibos, it doesn't actually start learning or exhibit any real changes in skill until around levels 25 to 30. Now, before everyone decides to put me on blast and say, no, Chris, you're wrong. What about that God Fox Amiibo that almost won that entire tournament? I say to you, that was when the game first came out, and players didn't have a firm grasp on the gameplay mechanics, otherwise known as Diddy Kong. These figures do, however, serve more purposes in other games, besides Smash. For example, in Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, you can use specific Amiibos to unlock driver outfits for the Mii characters, and in upcoming games, use each Amiibo as playable character model if you don't have saved data on them already. So for example, you can use Peach for Mario Kart 8, and you can use Marth for the new Mario Party, I think, that's coming out. So now that leads me to the flaws. Each Amiibo can only hold storage for 1 game. For lack of a better word, this sucks, because with the upcoming Amiibo-compatible games releasing in the next month or so, which Marissa and John are sure to have the details for you, you would have to delete all of the data on each Amiibo, and If you've been on the grind to get to level 50 on Smash, say goodbye to that data or your money, because you're going to have to go and buy another amiibo. Speaking of money, these are not cheap. Well, they are, but for a college student who has more important expenses than a Nintendo figurine, it's definitely not a must-have. But back to the point, if you're a completionist like I am, do not get one of these. I thought I could just buy one of them for the show, and that's it. But as I saw more come out and how cool they looked, Marth, I just had to have more. And get this, Nintendo's going to be releasing duplicate amiibos of the same character, but with different bases. In other words, it's a let's change a little so we can take your money version. Shame on you, Nintendo. In order to avoid spending hundreds of dollars on these amiibos, I actually had to limit them to my mains in Smash. These have quickly become nothing more to me than cool display pieces. So for my final verdict, if you have 14 bucks to spend on any non-rare amiibo, then go for it. But just know a means to an end, because anything else classified as rare will cost you anywhere from $30 to $80. But overall, I would say it's worth it, but only if you can afford it. Thanks for tuning in, and to everyone watching, I wish you a successful spring semester. See you, Save Pointers.
I know your guild is waiting to start a raid and they're getting pissed at you, but don't go away, Save Pointers.
We'll be back with more gaming news after this short break.
I look up to a lot of the older heads, you know, the innovators, the heads of the art movements of the past. They kept it really edgy, and like a lot of the Latin American muralists and Latin American artists, and their styles were very unique and new to their time. You know, somewhat controversial, but that's who I look up to mainly. Personally, I'm very excited about going to college. It's something new and it's something different than what I'm used to. I'm definitely going to be a little out of my element, but that's what makes it so exciting, is that, you know, it's something fresh. Well, there's so many opportunities that I think I could miss out on if I didn't go, you know? Getting into college takes planning and vision. You know, it's just like when I take a brick wall and turn it into a canvas for my art. Paintings help me realize that I've got what it takes.
I wish I was in school.
If only I had a math test today.
Or a book report to give.
I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess.
I wish I was in school.
I wish I was in school.
I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
True definition of hero. And being a hero took a heroic effort.
Every day we bring to our fans the world of sports. We speak of heroes and heroism, but there are days when sports matter little and heroes matter more. These heroes don't hit walk-off homers or buzzer-beating threes. They simply made a plan for what to do when disaster strikes. You never know when you might need to be the hero, because you never know if today is the day before a natural disaster. Prepare, plan, be a hero. Visit ready.gov.
Swag. Swag. Swag, what? What are you doing? I'm on HawkTV12.com. HawkTV12.com? Yeah, it's so cool. You can watch all the Hawk TV programs on here, and it has the TV guide and... Phew, that was close.
Hey guys, Marissa and John here with your Nintendo news. As of January 28th, the Nintendo 3DS has reached 50 million sales since being launched in March of 2011. The DS family together has now sold a total of 154 million units. While the 3DS started off as a bust, a price cut and the releases of Mario Kart 7 and Super Mario 3D Land resulted in a spike in sales. The eShop improved and the 3DS XL was released, and since then the 3DS has surpassed the Wii U in sales. The new 3DS XL will be released on February 13th.
Nintendo President Satoru Iwata has announced that around 5.7 million amiibos have been sold since they launched back in November. Iwata also said that Nintendo is exploring different options for smartphones, with the team currently working on at least one app or service. But he emphasized that they aren't planning on moving any console or portable games over to any smart devices. The third round of amiibos, which will consist of Bowser, Toon Link, Lucario, Sheik, Rosalina and Luma, Ike, Shulk, Meta Knight, King Dedede, Mega Man, and Sonic, will be released between February 6th and the 20th.
A group of hackers have discovered unused animations for custom moves in both Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. Models were recently revealed in the Wii U version of Viruses from Dr. Mario, and more information suggests that at one point there was a Dr. Mario-themed stage in progress. Masahiro Sakurai denied that there were plans for 16 custom moves for each character, rather only 12 made it into the game, but now the hackers digging through code have found some of these moves that were cut. Most of them were never given hitboxes or attack animations, but from the movement animations it appears that these moves would have been a bit more than just variants of the base attack.
Battery manufacturer Mugen reveals a bigger battery for the new Nintendo 3DS and 3DS XL. The battery lasts more than 3 times longer, but adds some extra weight to the new 3DS. Still, this is the biggest payoff with third-party batteries that promise really long battery lives.
The graphic novel adaptation of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, originally published in Nintendo Power in 1992, will be reprinted by Viz Media. A Link to the Past was illustrated by Shotaro Ishinomori, who is also the manga artist for Kamen Rider and Cyborg 009. The graphic novel was last compiled for sale in 1993, but will be returning in full color form in May.
The Super Mario Amiibo collection is currently on Amazon.com for pre-order. Amiibos include Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Bowser. They are each priced at $12.99 and will be available alongside Mario Party 10, which will be released on March 20th. The collection can also be pre-ordered on the Nintendo UK Store. Also available for pre-order on the Nintendo UK Store is the Majora's Mask new 3DS XL bundle pack.
Finally, PlayAsia reportedly told a customer that the 3DS remaster of Ocarina of Time was discontinued, but that the game could still be purchased from the eShop. That's all for your Nintendo news. We'll have more updates for you next week.
We're going to take another short break, but we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
I didn't even know we had sponsors.
We don't.
Oh, hey Marissa! Check out this awesome new game! Oh.
Let's play this game.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support.
Next up, Chris and Dave will be sitting down to recap the mid-season premieres of Arrow, The Flash, and Gotham.
Hey Save Pointers, Chris and Dave here, and the excitement just continues with the mid-season premieres of Arrow, The Flash, and us, The Save Point. And we're excited to discuss it, because we're excited about it. So let's get started. So Dave, you want to take us off?
I mean, you want to start with Arrow? Because that's my personal favorite right now.
Yeah.
The Flash and Gotham are dope. But Arrow, since it's been going for so long, I'm more invested in the characters.
Yeah, it's more developed too.
Yeah, it wrapped up really high, and it wrapped 2014 up on a really high note.
Yeah.
With, I mean, I think we're full spoilers on, right?
Yeah, we're full spoilers on. Sorry for all you viewers out there.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, it ended with Oliver Queen getting stabbed in the chest. Well, technically right below, I think, the
like
heart
his
or something.
upper
Yeah.
abdomen.
Which the first time I watched it, I totally thought he got stabbed right in the heart, and I was like, that's it. Like, there's no way they can bring him back. But no, if you watch it again, it's like it had a weird, awkward spot, so that, like, it's not really hitting anything.
And he falls off a cliff too.
And he falls off a cliff. That's right. He should be dead. He should totally be dead, but it's Arrow.
I mean,
so
we
he's
can
not.
call that a cliffhanger.
I see what you did there, because he was hanging off the cliff at the end. I get it. So, in Oliver's absence, Team Arrow has to pick up the pieces of now Star City, no longer Starling City.
Yeah.
And a new Black Canary has emerged.
She kind of becomes like I feel like she tried to become a leader, but at the same time, like
she doesn't have anywhere near the training that she needs. She boxed with Ted Grant like twice. By the way, where is he?
Yeah, he has not been mentioned at all since like maybe like 2 episodes before the
seriously,
mid-season finale.
she sparred with Ted 2 or 3 times, and now she thinks she can grab a bow staff and be Sarah, and she can't at all. You know, like at least Roy had Mirakuru running through him for a little while,
and training from
and training from
and he already had like the parkour skills.
Exactly. Yeah, and even Thea is training with Malcolm.
Yeah.
So Laurel has received the least amount of training, and yet she thinks she can just put on a mask.
Hey, like it's okay. I'll come in here and take over for Oliver, basically, and I think that like it's courageous of her, but at the same time, you see in this past episode that we'll talk about, like Roy kind of becomes like a little teacher to her. Like as Oliver was to him, he became that to Laurel, which I found like surprising, I guess, in a way.
You know, I really like the new relationship amongst Team Arrow now that Oliver isn't there. And I really liked Felicity's character arc in the past two episodes, how she went from being just so devastated after losing 2 different friends to this vigilante life, and then finding out that her boyfriend-ish dude or boss, whatever their relationship is, he wants to be a superhero too, and he wants her to help him, and like now she's accepting of it. I really liked the quick character arc.
I remember with that, like they kind of mentioned when he was talking about what he needs to power his suit. It was like I read somewhere that it was like the same material that like the Green Lantern's power like comes from. It was like something that can power up and explode without heat or something.
Right.
That's what it went into. I forget exactly what they called.
I'll have to look that up. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's like when Felicity hands him the chip.
Oh, right.
And she's like,
yeah.
you don't need nanobots. You need this,
new chip,
whatever
she
the
called
thing is.
Sciencey words that I didn't understand. Whatever. Yeah. Want to move on to the Flash now? I think we've kind of. Oh wait, no. I did want to ask, can Malcolm Merlyn teleport? Because he was, especially in that first episode, he was jumping around all over the place. He was just popping up in the Arrow Cave and then off to Nanda Parbat, and 5 minutes later he's back in the Arrow Cave.
Yeah, that's I didn't notice it until like the last episode, because like the first episode he was back and forth a little bit. He got like the sword back with the blood. He's like, here, test the blood, and do that. But now that you mention it, it seems.
I mean, I know he can't teleport. Like, there's no way he can teleport. But like
he's moving
he is
Merlin.
Really quick. True, maybe it's magic. You never know.
Yeah, but what did you think, to wrap up the Arrow? What did you think of the ending, like the end part of it?
What are you referring to?
With what's the guy's name? The guy who owed Oliver a debt, like he saved his wife.
Yeah, Tatsu's the wife. Maseo is the husband. Yeah.
What do you think of that? And the DJ?
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a nice connection to the Ra's al Ghul storyline. You know, the DJ was kind of random, and then now we find out he's an assassin and stuff.
Yeah, which that's actually funny, because since Thea killed Sarah, and she like has like a relationship, I guess, with the DJ.
I didn't even think of that.
It's kind of like weird because of that whole situation.
Yeah.
But
maybe Oliver's name can get expunged if Ra's al Ghul finds out he didn't actually kill Sarah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go on to the Flash. You lead us off.
Move on to the Flash. The Flash. The mid-season premiere was mostly about the Reverse Flash and how he affected the Flash's mind. I personally really liked the fact that the Reverse Flash kind of whooped Flash's butt, and he's really not confident in himself now.
Yeah.
I thought he got really overconfident way too quick.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the Rogues and how they clashed with each other, but then, you know, he's like at the end when they get captured at the end of the episode 1, he's like, oh, it's going according to the plan, and then he goes, what's up, sis?
Yeah.
Stop! Relax, Mick. What's going on? The plan. Hey, sis.
Yeah, I'm very excited to meet Little Snart, Lisa Snart. The Golden Glider is going to be, I think, a fun character to hang out with, and I'm really excited that they're building the Rogues Gallery more.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen Pied Piper was the latest one, and then of course Heatwave and Captain Cold, and then Golden Glider, Weather Wizard.
And Captain Boomerang was he was in the Arrow?
Yes, yeah, he was the part of the Arrow part of the Flash Arrow.
Okay, what do you think of the episode 2, this week's episode?
I really liked Pied Piper, but I think we need to see more of him. I know we are. He's going to be in the next episode, but I think I want to see more about him other than the fact that he didn't get along well with the Star Lab staff.
And that, like, he's like, Cisco, you're going to let me out because I know where Ronnie Raymond is, and how they introduced Jason Rush into it.
Yes, I'm very happy that I was concerned that they were. I was concerned that they were gonna make Firestorm into like a poor man's Human Torch, especially after the mid-season finale when he kind of just like
shoots off,
flew off. But no, they've established that elemental transmutation. That sounds smart. That is a firm part of his character, so he can make one element and change it into another element.
Yeah, and I like how Dr. Wells, we finally got a glimpse of him actually using the Speed Force power.
Yeah, and they just mentioned the Speed Force for the first time.
Yeah. He's like, are you absorbing the Speed Force well anymore, or something like that. And then I like how the officers, like Eddie Thawne, he's gonna be investigating him.
Yeah.
And Joe is his name?
Joe, yeah.
Yeah, Joe's gonna be investigating because they were like, how does he not have a scratch if he's in a wheelchair?
Exactly.
So, but yeah. So, we're getting word from our producers that we gotta fix our mics a little bit. But is it on? Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up. Stay tuned here for all your Flash and Arrow news. I know we're more excited for the second half of the season than I was for the first half. I'm pumped for these two shows.
Yep.
So stay tuned to Save Point, and we'll be back next time. Hey guys, welcome back. We're already a few episodes into the return of Gotham, so there's definitely a lot to talk about. So, first, let's talk the rise, or I don't know if you can even call it a rise, but the return, I guess, of Carmine Falcone.
Yeah.
He was, at the beginning of the show, an older mob boss that...
He was kind of just a name.
Yeah, he was a name. He'd been around for forever, and Fish, from the beginning of the show, has been trying to get him out. She was trying to replace him, and that plan has finally come to a head. Although, I was a little disappointed in it.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like the way, like what they did with the 2 episodes really quickly, or no, it's 3. Are we 3 episodes in?
3 episodes.
3 episodes. Okay, it started like a week before. I forgot. I feel like it just kind of went a little bit too fast. Like the whole thing with Butch and the guy he called his brother, and then at the end he's just like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, and he's just awesome right there.
I actually liked that Butch scene with his, I guess, his old childhood friend, because it showed his loyalty to Fish now.
Yeah, and we see that.
It showed, first of all, how loyal of a
episode.
person he is, because he was still loyal to his friend, even though he did end up killing him.
Yeah.
It just showed that he's now more loyal to Fish. And again, proved that again when Butch comes out of nowhere and saves Fish from being killed by that dude, Bob, he said his name was.
I didn't know who that was at first. I was like, is that, I thought it was the guy, was it Doctor Strange? Is that his name?
Doctor Strange is in Marvel.
No.
Who are you Oh, Dr. Fate?
No, it's not Dr. Fate. It's the guy, he was He's like the doctor in Injustice. He's a doctor in Arkham Asylum and stuff.
I don't know who you're referring to.
He was in like the first half of the season, and he was like the morgue guy. I don't know. I'll look it up later, but I thought it was him at first, and that he was part of like the mob. But then, like Victor comes and then he just kills him. I was like, okay, like who is Victor? Like
Zsasz?
Who is that?
Victor Zsasz is traditionally a Batman villain who is a serial killer who.
Okay.
I don't know if they did it I think they did actually do it in the show. For every victim he kills, he carves a tally into his body.
He did do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. Okay, I thought so. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they were if he was like, what is it, Victor Freeze? Is that his?
No, Victor.
See, I thought that was at first because like he has like that stoic type of look and
he could
stuff.
pull off a Victor Freeze.
And he's bald.
I didn't even think of them putting him in this show. He would be an interesting character to see.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could see him meet his wife.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that would.
We're getting off topic.
Okay,
though.
so you got us back.
Oh right, the plan. Fish got Eliza, that young girl, and she gave her information about Falcone's mother, and kind of forced Falcone to fall in love with her.
Yeah.
Although, first of all, I didn't believe he was ever in love with her. He never laid a hand on her. He never showed any kind of affection for her.
It was more of like a son to mother type.
Yeah,
thing.
almost father-daughter. Yeah, like I don't. It was very strange, and too quick. Honestly, I thought Fish initially called her a weapon to use against Falcone, but it wasn't much of. She wasn't much of a weapon. She was
they
just
didn't really
more
do
of a
much.
distraction, if anything.
Because there was that one scene where she could have like poisoned Falcone, right?
Yeah, and she didn't. I don't know why they didn't just kill him.
That was really the only time that she ever acted as a weapon.
Yeah, and I found it really strange and out of character for Fish not to want to kill him, because every moment of the show before, she had just shown contempt for Falcone. Like she wanted to kill him and wanted him just out.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to the moment where she can kill him and she doesn't. And I think that's where it all went wrong for her. She should have killed him and then could have rose to power.
Yeah. How do you feel about like Fish actually like escaping and like that whole thing?
I'm excited. I ended up liking Fish Mooney. I didn't think I would because she's an original character to the Batman mythos, but I do like her. I want to see more of her, but I definitely don't want to see her in a position of power. I want to see her maybe with Butch. We'll see. We'll see where he ends up, but I definitely want to see her come back to try to regain her power.
Yeah, because at the end of the last episode, was it Bullock? Detective Bullock, he's like, don't come back here, and then they kiss.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think they were that close.
Yeah, I thought it was more of like a cop to source.
Yeah,
type of thing.
exactly. Obviously they were friends and such. I didn't think they went that far. But what else? What else did I have to talk about? I think we lost the. Okay, there was one scene in these 3 episodes we've seen. There was only one scene that featured Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Or she's not even Gordon at this point.
It's Kane. Barbara Kane.
Barbara Kane. So out of place and unnecessary. I can't even. I think it was in the first episode. The first episode.
It was like the first episode. She was mad at Ramirez, right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Ramirez.
But I don't think we even saw that, did we?
Like she was like, no, stay here.
Was that in the first episode, or was that last half of the season? I thought that was the last half of the season. That she got into a fight with, oh my gosh, what is her name?
I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Is it
the female?
Is it Ramirez? Isn't that?
Ramirez. Yeah,
that's her last name.
Whatever.
Something
you
like
know
in
who I'm
the
talking
Hispanic.
About. We all know who
area.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's Montoya.
Oh.
Renee Montoya. Sorry, I sound dumb now. I think she got into a fight with Renee last season. Well, I could be wrong, but then we just see that one scene of Barbara going to her parents' house.
Oh yeah. And they're
like,
really
nothing
proper.
happens. Yeah, they're just like really rude and like. I think they were trying to show that like they're like old school parents and like they don't have a good relationship with their daughter, possibly because she's bisexual. I don't really know. They didn't show anything. Like,
Yeah.
It was just so unnecessary.
And then she calls Jim Gordon's house. She calls Jim's house, and Ivy answers the phone.
Ivy picks up. Yeah, I thought that was cute that they
That
were
was
there
funny.
and picked up. That was, yeah.
And that kind of like prolonged her stay like away from him. She's just
Exactly.
like, why is there another girl in the house and stuff. Yeah, but what else did you think of like the episodes?
Well, what did you think of Selena telling Bruce that she didn't see anything in Crime Alley?
Oh yeah, that was like, I don't know. I kind of felt like I felt for Bruce. I was like, okay, like this is one of his like first like true friends, and then she just comes back. He gives her a present, and then she's just like, I lied to you the entire time. I'm not your friend. I'm not anyone. Stop trying to call me. I came here just to tell you like bug off and stuff. And I think that kind of played a developmental part in like the whole Catwoman Batman relationship in the future.
Yeah.
So that's kind of maybe the separation that they needed to further develop the story.
Right. I agree completely.
Yeah. So what do you think of like the Penguin? Like, what do you think of his role throughout these past 3 episodes?
I'm a huge fan of this Penguin. I'm glad that they didn't just like give him Fish's club and it's like totally not a problem at all. I'm glad that like Fish came and was like, yo, I'm gonna beat you up right now. And I don't know how he was planning on hiding that from Maroni. Like especially after he gets electrocuted by the electrocutioner. Half wakes up and says, I have business with Falcone in front of Maroni. Maroni doesn't trust him already.
Yeah.
Now you're going to just acquire Fish Mooney's club? Like,
Yeah.
what were you thinking?
Just acquire, and then does Penguin in the comics, he owns the club, right? Like,
Yeah.
he eventually.
I thought they were going to say Iceberg Lounge. He was like, oh, welcome to the, and then Fish comes in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought that was a nice touch.
What do you
They
think of like
alluded to it.
Penguin's like crazy mom? Like,
I love her.
That's so.
I love
she's
her
like
so much.
She's such like a different character.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it shows where he came from. You know, the fact that he had to deal with this drunk mom who's kind of not there all the time. So that's how he became the successful guy he is. He had to take care of himself and his mother, and now he still does. So.
Yeah, and finally to wrap it up, how do you feel about like Gordon, like the whole? Well, actually, there's 2 last things. Gordon in the relationship with the doctor, that other doctor, and then also Gordon not knowing Penguin's doing, like how Penguin's little henchman, he went over and like threatened the wife and kids of that other detective.
Well, he does now after that last scene in the last episode,
Yeah.
which I loved. It kind of showed, it made him seem like a mob boss type thing, and I don't know whether that was a comment on where he is now, what he's going to be kind of dealing with now, or if that was a moment so that he can snap back to the straight edge he is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to see where it goes.
Okay, and then comments on the relationship.
I like it. I think despite the fact that I'm a big Batman Year One fan, so I liked the Jim and Barbara relationship in that comic. I didn't like Jim and Barbara in this show together. I don't think they really belong together. It was always very awkward. And why doesn't Jim have his own place? He just lives with his girlfriend.
That's like, it's his house, isn't it?
I know. I think it's Barbara's.
Oh, okay.
And now that I'm seeing that she doesn't have another place to live and she goes directly to her parents' house, I think her parents might have bought her that place.
Okay.
But I don't know. My biggest question, I think, out of the Leslie and Jim relationship is, what are we going to call them? I couldn't quite figure out a Jeslie, Jim, whatever.
Yeah.
That's my biggest question,
I actually did some research on like the whole like Leslie character, and I researched it was like she becomes almost like a parent figure to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And she helps out with like Alfred and stuff, and then eventually like when he becomes Batman, she kind of resents the way that he deals with crime when he accidentally kills someone once. And
There was that famous storyline where he accidentally kills somebody, and then also there's been many times where he goes way too far and just like brutally beats thugs, and they end up with her, and she then goes to Batman. She's like, "Yo, you got it, cool it."
All right. Well, there you have it, Save Pointers. Tune in next time as we discuss some more of our favorite superhero shows. So see you next time.
That's all the time we have for today's Save Pointers. Welcome back to another semester.
We hope you are satisfied with your care because you've reached
The Save Point.